This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to support the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/bossrushnetwork. Thanks for your continued support. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me, as always, is the PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Hey, what's poppin'?
Hey, LeRon.
What's up?
How's it going? You doing all right?
Life is constantly kicking me in the daddy pills right now. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. I get it. I see you wore sleeves today, LeRon. Is it because of the toothpick comment I made to you last week?
Yes, it is actually. It most definitely is. No, actually, I'm wearing sleeves because like all of my tank tops are in the dirty clothes. Like I haven't done my laundry yet.
That's fair.
And also, I'm like fresh out the shower, so I was like, I want to put a shirt on because like being damp and under a fan, like I'm just gonna freeze.
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. Also joining us is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
Hello.
Hi, Stephanie. How's it going?
It's all right. Although I spent $60 just to buy 3 ornaments with my child's art on them, which is a complete ripoff.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you spent $60 on 3 video games. I was going to be real excited, and now I'm just not.
No, I wish I could, but no, I had to buy my kids art, which I have no problem doing, but everything's such a ripoff when it comes to your children, and paying $60 for 3 Christmas ornaments. Fun.
I mean,
Oh my
if you're a kid,
gosh.
you should get them for free. I mean, your
It's
your
like the
son is running a
fundraising.
hustle here.
It's the fundraising thing where your school will send you a link to this art project that they do in school, and they're like, "Oh, school fundraiser, you want your kid's art on a pillow or a mug?" My son's like, "Oh, I want it on a silk pillowcase because there's an option for a silk pillowcase." I'm like, "I ain't paying
That's so specific.
for your turtle to be on my silk pillowcase." He's like, "Come on, Mom." He's like, and then he's like, "Well, can I have it on this keepsake box?" I'm like, "Well, who's it for?" "Me." I'm like, "What are you gonna put in this keepsake box?" "I don't know." I'm like, "Okay, let me just spend $60 on 3 ornaments and just get it over with." There'll be Christmas presents for the family.
It's fair. It is March, though, so I guess you're done early with that.
I know. Look at that. That's efficiency.
Speaking of done early and efficient, also here is PK Power, Pat Klein.
Hey.
Story of my life.
Oh my God, Corey, why are you so mean? Why are you so mean to him?
Stephanie set me up. I can't not. It's always the setup, man. You know, you gotta capitalize on the setup. Okay. So look, Pat does what we all want to do, is play a lot more video games than we all do put together. Okay. So, speaking of everybody, we have a very special guest tonight. You guys always tell me that I do too much. Okay. Well, this guy makes me look lazy. He makes me. I've never met somebody who does so much in my entire life. Met him at PAX. Been a big fan for a long time. The Iron Lord, the Duke himself, Lord Cognito. Welcome to the show, Cog.
Welcome. Glad to be here. Thank you for the introduction. In the realm of the boss rush. Nice people. And got a chance to finally break bread and meet you again, which was cool at PAX East. And thanks for having me, man. I'm excited. A lot of stuff to talk about with games. And again, it's a good time right now. It's a good time. Coming off last year, wasn't sure about how this year was going to pan out game-wise, but so far, we got some things to play, man. We got some things to play, so I'm excited.
There's too much to play, and I'm going to tell you, I haven't played almost anything that's come out this year because I've had some other goals and ideas in mind, but there's a lot. There's a lot. This year is shaping up to be another great year for games. But before we get into the show, Cog, who for those who don't know, which I don't know who doesn't know you, but for those who don't know, who are you and why should people care who you are?
Well, Lord Cognito, host of the Iron Lords podcast and CEO of lordsofgaming.net. I also co-host Defining Duke, an Xbox-centric podcast with Mr. Matty Plays, and also do another podcast with Destiny-focused podcast called The Last Word with E. Bontis, a big-time Destiny content creator, and IGN's Ty Guy Travis. So I'm fairly busy a lot. And yeah, pretty much, gaming, hosting, going to events, and pretty much shining a lot of attention on developers and content creators in the space that I feel, as much as we love games, sometimes it's good to get the information from the source and pretty much show a light and appreciation to those people.
Yeah, that's why we love the Iron Lords. I was telling them during PAX, I was like, man, like the Iron Lords and The Last Word have been such an influence on me as a creator, and I try to kind of apply a lot of that to what we do. And I'm very grateful for The Last Word is very influential to our Destiny podcast, which is Tower Casuals. And I appreciate all you guys do. You guys, I was telling Chris the Saturday of PAX, maybe Sunday, I don't know, it's all blurs together. I was like really appreciative that you guys kind of like treated us like, we were all kind of like the same, even though you guys
we ain't
were
Hollywood you. We ain't acting
Yeah.
was better than everybody.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you meet people and they're kind of like that, and you're just kind of like, yeah, I guess I kind of expect that sometimes, but
I feel you.
really appreciate it, man. It's
No,
awesome.
absolutely. One thing we try to do is, stay as humble as possible. Everyone's journey started somewhere, and we were the same. So, one thing, don't care about subscriber count. I don't play those games. If you're a good person and we have good energy, I try my best to follow up my word. I know my schedule's busy, but I told you, I was like, we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. I'm so glad we did, because it really means a lot. I love to see people who have that same genuine passion for video games, and I have to support it. So glad we was able to make this happen.
Yeah. It's although today threw me off because we usually record on Wednesdays, but I know you do Duke on Wednesdays with Maddie. So it's like, man, Tuesday, sure. Yeah, we'll make it happen. So
no doubt. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Hey, audience, did you hear that? We're not getting snubbed because of our audience count, our listener count.
Hey, man, look, our audio numbers are better than our YouTube numbers. Okay. By the way, I have a bone to pick with some YouTube people. Before we got on. Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't going to bring it up, but we brought up YouTube, so I had to ban some people from our YouTube channel for some
bad behavior.
Some
behavior.
Comments. Okay, so
who were they directed towards?
Don't
I talk back. So
yeah, I know.
You about to smoke.
I hope it was LeRon then. I want to see some action.
Let's just say it was aimed towards everybody that doesn't look like me and Pat. Okay, we'll just put it that way.
Aimed at everyone.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. It was I'm slow here.
DEI comment.
I mean, Pat
I got that one.
Look, remember. Look,
so basically, if you're not the same, if you're not the same complexion as the initials for YouTube, they were throwing BS.
Yeah, and I'm not having any of that.
LeRon,
yeah, that's gross.
I can't help it if all of our fans really like bald men.
Yeah. Look, no, man.
Because Corey and I are the baldest ones here.
Yeah, that's why I wear a hat, man. That's why it just covers it up. Okay, I mean, so but yeah, you're not welcome here.
Yeah, you're ugly.
Yeah, you're gross. Although every time I talk about Pat and I being white, I always think of that line in Space Jam where Bill Murray's talking about Larry Bird, and he's like, "Larry's not white, Larry's clear," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's how I feel." So, anyways, real quick before we get into what we've been playing, you can support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Boss Network. For $1, you get all of our shows early. At the silver tier, you get to ask questions for interviews and vote on book club and all kinds of different stuff. So you can head on over there if you want to support us. If not, If you can't contribute financially, no big deal. Your viewership and your listenership is enough for us. So you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a review, comment, rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those places. You can also grab some merch over on our merch store. Just go to bossrush.net and click the store button. Take you right there. 40 plus designs. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Lots of color schemes, and that Game Gear logo is Ed's new favorite. So, of course, Ed's probably like one of 6 people who even owned a Game Gear and had enough money to afford batteries for that thing.
Batteries is brutal.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta get that charger pack that was like this big.
Yeah,
That
I
goes
did.
into the wall.
Yeah, so what's funny is I bought that universal one for Game Gear and my Game Boy, and
Mhm.
like that thing, man, it had like 3 plugs on the end of it. One was for Game Boy Color, one was for Game Gear, and one was for the original Game Boy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is just massive. And I don't know, man. Game Gear, what a
Man, as much as I loved the Game Gear and the fact that it was playing, like you had full color games and everything. Well, you had like what was it, like 16, 32 colors? I can't remember, but it had a nice enough spectrum of colors. But the fact that it just ate up batteries, I found someone to like sell that to at a better price than I should have gotten if I traded it in, and I immediately went and bought a Game Boy.
look, man. I was so mad that it was the Master System version of Sonic 2 that I was like, oh my gosh, man. I'm just like,
Oh, hurt me. Hurt me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what we've been playing. Cog, you're our Steam guest. We're gonna let you go first. You did you even get into Destiny today?
Yeah, I mean, I got to the title screen and told me about the traffic wait for the queues, but I was able to get it. I did get a shot at playing the new mode. So obviously the Into the Light expansion drop, which is free to all players. This was their kind of precursor towards the final shape, which will be dropping in June. But yeah, it's kind of like a horde mode. And as a person who I've always been a fan of horde mode since like Gears introduced it. I remember Cliffy B, we had him on, and I thanked him. I was like, it was the mode I didn't realize I needed when you set up turrets and you set up your little, defenses and stuff like that. So it's Destiny's version of that, right? It's kind of a lighter version, but it's cool. Couple of waves, you get that in. So I've been playing that, and then I know LeRon and everyone else mentioned Tekken, and ton of Tekken. I'm a huge Tekken fan, and this is probably the first Tekken that I really got back into competitively online. I'm like in the trenches. I'm
Yes,
going up ranks. Yeah,
same
yeah.
same here because like I played online Tekken 7 for a little bit, and then I was like, man, I'm kind of done. I don't know what it is. Like Tekken 8 just has like this, it has like this magic this time, and it's something that like with Tekken, it comes in waves, because you can kind of trace where everybody's favorite Tekken game at, and even though like
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask you this in a moment,
Yeah,
even though like people have like their gripes about Tekken 8, like I feel like this revive revive the franchise that wasn't actually dying, but
yes.
needed like a new push on the vine.
Absolutely. I'm with you 1000%. I think it's a combination of things. Obviously, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. UE5, phenomenal. And then from there, we look at it's something about the aggressive system, and it's just everything's clicking. It's not perfect from a balance standpoint. Yeah, they're still working it, but it's early. Like they're patching things and doing stuff. But the rank scene, man, it's really fun. And even when you get beat, you're like, all right, I'm learning. Okay, I gotta
Yeah,
learn how to deal with this character. All right,
yeah.
this watch out for that. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh
It's
my
just
god.
fun.
And there's so much
Mhm.
cheese. Oh, I've not
Oh.
seen the level of cheese in a Tekken game since probably Tekken 4. Like there's so much cheese in this game.
Yes, and the heat
I mean, like
system. Oh
the
yeah.
heat system, Yoshimitsu flashing every damn body.
Yeah, and the coffee
Ran,
chick.
oh god.
It's
apparently
every yeah. Please.
apparently they patched her running 3-2 and it's still
Yes.
broken.
What's funny is I think this is what it is. It's so well made for the new player that hasn't played fighting games, right? And anyone the onboarding is phenomenal. But what's happening now is you have a little civil war with the hardcore community that
It's the
wants things.
veterans.
Yeah, the veterans want things toned down because they want to be able to dominate the way they used to, and they're not happy that maybe Joe Schmo with medium skills has figured out some exploits and he's running things right now. His Tekken rank is higher than some of them right now, and I think that's the civil war. So what's going on? But as far as popularity, as far as onboarding, and I think I have to give it credit. If you're not a fighting games person, I will say, like I said, the story, they finally took beats from like Mortal Kombat, making their narrative a little, more engrossing. And then I would say that the thing that really changed the game for the fighting game community is the ghost system, because not saying that ghost systems not having before, but the level of this. You could, any fight that you fought, you look at the replay and it'll tell you, hey, you could have blocked this, you could have did this.
Yes.
And then say if someone's giving you trouble, if I fought Patrick online and he's dominating me, whatever character, after the match, I can download his ghost. It has all his tendencies, the way he plays with that character to improve on what's I'm struggling with. And I think that's the next level in fighting games and gaming. It's tremendous, man. Tekken 8 it's phenomenal.
I can only wonder who else downloaded the Ghost of My Victor. They're probably, man, this guy's trash.
Well, the joke's on you because I was button mashing the entire time, so learn my strats.
Who are you playing? Who are you playing with?
I don't know.
Because in the right hands, button mashing is a legitimate weapon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm doing that, and then finally, Dragon's Dogma 2. I got started on that last couple of days, and I didn't think I would enjoy it the way I'm enjoying it. I'm really addicted to it. I love the pawn system. It's my first Dragon's Dogma game. I never played it before. I think it's absolutely hilarious, the things that the pawns can do and their temperament, and getting gold and stuff like that. But I think I've got a rogue, and my is a pawn is an archer kind of thing. So I've been liking it so far. It's still a little janky, little things, a little janky the game, but for the most part, it's fun. So I'm enjoying it.
Have you fallen off of a cliff and had a pawn follow you yet?
Yes, master. That was close. They are hilarious. I like the pawns that don't listen and just run into battle and they just start in trouble. I'm like, they are out of control, but it adds a dimension to the open world genre. Because I'll be honest, I have open world game fatigue right now. And for whatever reason, this game, I'm like, just the sense of adventure, any random thing can happen, any fighting bosses, or hoping that you get to a campsite before you're low on energy. It's and no saves coming. That's what adds to the tension. So I've been really enjoying it.
Man, Dragon's Dogma. I hear everybody talking about it. Grayson was talking about it the other day, and I'm like, man, I feel like
gotta give it a shot, man.
I feel like I'm missing out.
It's a game that people are either loving or hating, depending on whether or not you are okay with the non-fast travel systems, and not if you learn how to use the pawn mechanic well, it's supposed to be a really fun game. But if you just kind of want to blaze through it, it's gonna torture you.
Look, man, I gotta get through this Final Fantasy VII weird journey I'm on here. Okay, so
I gotta get that too. Yep.
Yeah. No, I guess I'll go next. Cog,
you go next.
I'm playing the OG Final Fantasy VII for the first time.
First time?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
You're better than I am.
I know, man. It's been interesting, but it's not the game's fault. It's because I'm playing on the Switch and it's frozen on me 3 times and I've lost a ton of progress a couple times.
Oh God.
So I told Pat, I'm like, I want to play Remake and Rebirth, but then Colin got in my head and said, you're a poser if you don't play OG Final Fantasy VII first. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta now it's in my head. If I don't play this, not that I'm ever gonna be best friends with Colin or anything, but
Corey, what have we told you? What have we told you about listening to randos online? What
Colin's not a rando. He's the man. Okay, yeah. So I've actually been playing through that probably since I started the week before PAX, but then the week after PAX was just so busy with getting stuff out that I took a little bit of a break, but I'm back at it. I just got through the Oh, I just found Yuffie for the first time, randomly out in the middle of nowhere.
She randomly stealing your materia?
Yeah, she tried to steal something, and then I tried to convince her to join me, and then she just ran away. And I'm like, oh well, okay. And now I'm driving this weird tank through the woods here, and I found this broken Shinra thing, right? And so like I see Cloud hiding while these people are talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are like, I don't know what I'm doing here, man. I just want to go. I just need to go. And then I found Dinah and did that whole thing with Barrett, and that was a pretty sad storyline.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, as I was playing last night, I'm like, man, when does Vincent come into this picture here? And then I'm like scrolling online for some guides, and they're like, well, you needed to pick up this, and this in Nibelheim. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't do any of that. I'm like, so I probably got to go back there at some point, but
so you don't have Yuffie or Vincent when you could have gotten them.
Nope, but I have Kate Sith though. That
okay. He's required. The other two aren't.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sticking with Tifa, and I'm sticking with Barrett for the most part.
Okay, Tifa and Barrett. Right.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it. You know, like my Final Fantasy journey starts with 9, and so
gotcha.
I played 9, and then I played 10, and then I went back to 8, and I was like, 8, I like 8, and then I went to 7. I'm like, I can't do this because I Final Fantasied myself out and never went back. So, but then I'm like, well, Rebirth looks so good, and I want to play Remake, but I need the context here because I know things are different, and so that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with Final Fantasy.
Noble journey.
Yeah, yeah. This is quite the journey I'm on. So, I also to take a break from Final Fantasy, I also played Bat Boy, which is like a 2D side-scrolling Shovel Knight sequel that we never got, I'm gonna say, and it's pretty awesome. I played the second and third level. I love how you can throw your bat and use it as like a trampoline, and it's just a really awesome 2D side scroller. If you want one of those, you should check it out. I think it's only like $10 or $15. It's not very expensive. So the premise is like these kids are just superhero. They pretend to be superheroes and they dress up in their sports gear, and like they all get sucked into this dark realm by this dark wizard or whatever, and so you have to go save them as Bat Boy, who's a baseball player. So
okay, I'm like, all right, this sounds like an animal bat. Now it sounds like a baseball bat. Then it went back to animal bat, and now
nope,
we know what it is.
It's not some weird like stitched together Batman cosplay here. It's he's a baseball player. So and then I replayed the beginning of Final Fantasy 16 because there's been so much Ben Star talk between the 4 of us here. So man, that game's so pretty.
I cannot wait for the PC version of that.
Oh man, it's so good. Man, that beginning is so good. The fight, the icon fight at the beginning. Oh, it's so good. I just got where the demo ends though, so I
that's a way to get pre-orders to get you to go continue.
Yeah. So I played the demo, and then I bought the game, and then I never played the game. So I'm finally getting back to that, and then
I gotta get back to it too.
I was gonna do some Destiny today, but I saw your thing, Cog, and then I'm like, man, I'm not gonna have time. And then obviously I had to put my kids to bed and never got around to it. But
all good. It'll be there for you. The queues will be calming down.
I hope so, because
you'll be good. You'll be good,
man. So that's kind of all I've been playing. Stephanie, I'm gonna go your way next.
Sure. I don't have much to talk about because one of the games I'm playing is under embargo, so I can probably talk about it next time. But I will say this because it is a management sim type thing. Requesting a code for this.
Wait, because it's embargoed, you can't even mention the name?
No.
Okay. I just want to be sure. Like, it's been so long since I did an embargoed game review that I forgot the rules.
But
I will say this: I really wish I had requested a Steam copy, not a Switch copy, because clicking with a mouse would have made a management sim a lot easier than like trying to use the joystick. Like, ugh, and I'm like just hovering over. I missed the box and I'm supposed to hit, and everything's timed, so I'm like missing out on things. I'm like, damn it! And it's not the game's fault; it's my fault for picking it on the Switch. So, the only thing I can say that I played, I can't remember if I said I beat on leaving last
You did.
episode.
You
I
did.
did. Okay. So the only thing I can say is I completed Brothers, right?
Brothers, A Tale of Two
Brothers.
Sons.
Yes. Oh, you know,
Yep.
every time I'm about to say it, I think of A Tale of Two Cities. I'm like, no, that's not it. A Tale of Two Sons. Dang, that is a sad ending. I will not spoil it because that is our book club. It is just like really messed up, but like a good messed up because I dig games that really that pull you somewhere, you know? The gibbering and the jabbering still make me giggle sometimes when he's like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." I told you I thought it was initially a different language because one of the gibberish is da, da, but da means yes in Russian because I'm used to it because um, my son is half Russian. That's why I thought it really was in language, but it's just gibberish. So, it does make me curious to try the is it remake or remaster? I don't know I think it's remastered version at some point because the game is brief. It is
Oh
short.
wait, I thought you were.
It
I thought you were playing the remastered.
No, I was playing the original one.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was one of those games that I always heard that I should play, and then it became ridiculously cheap on sale on the PlayStation Store. Bought it a long time ago, sat in my backlog, and one book club. So I'm like, perfect. But because the game doesn't overstay its welcome, it's fun, quirky. It will definitely be something I would be willing to play again one more time. So maybe way, way down the line, I'll try the remastered version. But honestly, I think the gameplay and the graphics are good enough. Like I don't think I really would need to play the remastered. Looks fine to me. Um, the puzzles were a lot of fun. A lot of interesting sequences where you're working with giants, a lot of great set pieces in the background. Like at one point, more towards the end, you have to like make your way through a battlefield where there's a bunch of dead giants, and you don't need to maneuver things to like chop off an arm or shoot a dead one in the head to knock it back so you can progress. Um, it's pretty breathtaking, and it's one of those games that doesn't do too much, but still makes quite a point. So very well done, and I'm glad I played it. So I've been pouring most of my time and focus into that. Uh, but hopefully, I can maybe finish the other embargoed game because in May will be busy with two games that I'm looking forward to, and that's Hellblade 2 and Animal
That's
Well.
right.
So
That's right. I want to hear that Hellblade too. That's right.
Man,
Be a
Hellblade
message.
2.
I love Hellblade.
Oh my gosh, I can't
so
wait,
good.
man.
Ooh,
Oh
It's
man.
coming so close.
Oh,
let's go.
I can't wait. LeRon, before I get too hyped up on Hellblade, what are you
Okay.
playing?
All right. Well, I'm still playing Tekken 8, even though like I feel like now I need to get like I'm playing so much Tekken that I feel like I need to get back on Monster Hunter for a little bit, just because like it's not that I'm getting bored, but it feels like I'm getting stagnant at it, which does not mean I'm not having fun. It's just that I feel like I'm plateauing at like that area where I can improve. So I feel like I need to take a step back for a little bit and just kind of like regroup and everything. But
Sounds
that
like
being
Coach,
said,
you're
like
losing all the time, LeRon.
Oh man.
actually no,
Boy,
actually no. Even though I am stuck in a rank ladder. Like I'm stuck on purple ranks, which is honestly
Mhm.
where like a lot of the more seasoned players, they get stuck either at purple or they get stuck at blue.
Mhm.
And I looked now I need to progress like 9 more ranks to actually get to like God of Destruction, which is like the highest rank up there. So like I'm doing all right as far as rank goes. But also like some things change in the rank system where like you're you rank up based on points, based on how many matches you win, and there's a few factors in there. But the main thing to know is like once you get into blue ranks,
Mm-hmm.
what starts happening is you get a set amount of points for your wins, but you lose more points than you gain when you win. So if you lose a match, let's just say like winning a match is 500 points. If you lose a match, you lose 520 points. So now like it's about like you need knowledge of the game, you need to be a very, very skilled player and stuff like that. So yeah, it's getting to that point where like a lot of people are struggling, and I'm there now. But Cognito, I want to ask you a question.
What's up?
Do you think the fan community is justified in like a lot of the complaints that they have going on with Tekken right now?
Yeah.
Like everybody's acting crazy about the battle pass system, and everybody's mad because like Eddie Gordo just returned to Tekken, and since his introduction to Tekken 3. Actually, he was missing in one game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
He was missing in Tekken 4 because like Eddie was in Tekken 3, he was missing in Tekken 4 and 5. And then he came back in 6. But everybody was upset because like he's part of the seasons pass, which I mean, I'm just gonna say it, and
let's get it out.
I always give a disclaimer. Like, if you guys have something to say about this, like at me at Exodus 803, that's my disclaimer. We'll have a conversation about it. But
let's go.
Y'all can't complain about the fact that Eddie is on the seasons pass when Anna, Armor King, Marduk, Julia. Who else am I missing? I'm missing
so many.
I'm missing a few characters that were season pass characters in Tekken 7, and nobody was. I mean, like, I'm an Anna Williams person, and and even though I'm upset that she wasn't in the original roster, I'm used to the fact now that she's just an unlocked character. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like there's a part of the community that's just really, really like nagging about that, and I'm like, it's not a big deal. Like, you know, like I feel like the reason why these characters are not included when the game originally drops is because like they have to get a roster that's solid enough out there, and they don't have time to QA the rest of them. At least that's my headcanon for what's going on here. You know, it could also be that, you know, like they did not know how popular these characters were going to be, so they held them off to see how many people were going to like cry for them and stuff like that. You know.
No,
but
you got a good theory.
But the battle pass system, I feel like everybody's like losing their shit about it. You don't have to buy any of this stuff. You don't have to, you know. Especially the battle pass system. Like, and the sad part is they give you a free battle pass anyway. You know.
Right.
Well, actually, I'm not sure. Like, maybe because I
bought track. There is a free track. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I have the deluxe edition, so I don't know what's included and what was excluded. I always with certain games, if I know games coming out and they have a seasons pass, I usually buy the deluxe edition just to cover the bases of the first seasons pass. You know, so yeah. But I mean, like, everyone's complaining about it, and I'm like, all this is like really meager customizations. I don't care if they were in previous like Tekken 6 and Tekken 7, you know, as free customizations. You know, like. I don't understand.
I know where you're going. I know where you go. Look, I'm with you 80% of the way. Here's my thing. I don't have an issue with battle passes, and I don't have an issue with the way they handle the DLC. I think for me, as a person who, obviously I'm biased, I love this game, right? I think gamers do have this unrealistic expectation of like how it costs to, you know, as far as server management and maintaining the game, as well as engagement with a fighting game, right? Fighting game, let's be honest, outside of Tekken and Street Fighter and this resurgence in Mortal Kombat lately, they haven't been doing well. So for me, I don't have an issue with that. Especially, I didn't have an issue with the shop. I'll tell you that from a jump. Because I'm like, okay, they got the old Tekken 3 skins, Tekken 4 skin, optional. You don't have to partake if you don't want to partake. Now, where I do feel they're skirting the line a little bit is that
I think I know where you're going. I think I know
where
you're going to go.
My issue is I have no problem with it if you're transparent from the beginning. Hey, this guy's what we're doing.
Yes.
We're doing this.
Yes.
So what happened is we heard about Tekken 8. We heard about a full featured list. We're like, all right, great. And then after release, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, maybe 2 weeks later, now here comes the shop. Now here comes the thing. And I think we have to be honest. There's a part of them that knows if let's be honest, monetization in terms of review score is generally not favored well.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they were hesitant in that way, or maybe development, it just didn't work out. It just, the timing seemed interesting. And I think that's why people are a little bit upset with them. But for me personally, I don't have an issue because, again, I'm going to pay the season pass. I'm going to get the deluxe edition, and whatever I use, I use. But I understand someone that says, hey, man, it does feel a little scummy that you guys didn't tell us that you were going to do this or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. It's optional.
I 100% agree with that. I would just say that, people are mad at Harada, and they don't understand. Harada is just the director of the Tekken series. Harada does not turn around and say this is how like Bandai Namco is going to make the money off this game. Harada does not say that,
Exactly.
So like I feel like that's pretty unreasonable, yeah, but ultimately that whole thing, like they knew what they were doing, and I'm not sure Harada was just trying to do some PR or whatnot, or he honestly did not know this is really going to happen. Like stuff was, I feel like maybe 30% he didn't know exactly what was going to be done behind his back and stuff like that. But for the most part, like he's the director for Tekken, he's the executive producer for Tekken. He kind of knew this stuff was coming, stuff like that. So I'm not saying they should not be mad at him, but at the same time, they can't be that mad at him because like he doesn't sign Tekken's paychecks.
Exactly. No, absolutely. And I heard business wise, their other Namco's other game prior to this didn't really do well. So you never know if it's coming from up top as far as the implementation and stuff is.
Which game was that? Because
I'm not forgot, man. I was listening to one of my tech
thinking
guys.
Besides those Naruto games and Dragon Ball, like what else did they release recently?
It was something before Tekken that people were saying didn't do well financially, but I just can't remember off top.
Yeah, and then the only other game I'm playing, like like I said, I started needing a palate cleanser just a little bit from Tekken, even though I did play like 45 minutes of it earlier today. I got back on Mario versus Donkey Kong because I was a little over halfway through the game and stuff like that. And Pat, you know what? Mm-hmm. This game is so easy. I don't understand why I didn't beat it when it first came out. Within that first week or two.
When you get into the second half, you might question it again.
Well, I mean, like I'm starting the challenge is starting to creep up there now, especially with all the stuff like. Okay, so basically all the old mods to like Donkey Kong Jr. with the freaking like the traps going up and down the vines, the birds flying all over the place. Yeah, that's the moving platforms. Yeah, that's starting to get me. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, this is my childhood. Like, I love me some Donkey Kong Jr., so I could do this. And then Mario falls all the way down a cliff, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I feel like honestly, if I put my time into it, I could have. I should. It's Tuesday night. I should have it beat by Sunday if I put my time into it. But that means taking away from Tekken and Monster Hunter time.
Can't take away from that.
Okay. Oh yeah, no.
Real quick, I didn't get you. Who's your main? Yeah. Who's your main? I forgot to ask you.
In Tekken?
For Tekken, who's your main? Yeah.
Okay. Currently, I'm using Victor. Like I want to do something completely new with Tekken. Like I want to use a brand new character that nobody that nobody knew about. And I don't mean like nobody knew how to fight against him. That just he's new to Tekken. I was like, I want to use. Plus, like, dude's got a sword. He's got knives. He's got a gun. He's wearing a suit. He's got glasses. Dude, yes, he is smooth.
That beat, his stage, the Twilight Bolt music.
Yes.
That sounds Tekken 8 soundtrack is golden. I don't care. I'll fight someone in the street for that if they don't take
like there's certain stages that I alter the music for.
Fix your face,
I do not alter that stage though. I do not change that stage music.
Yeah, that music.
Like, that dude is too smooth. That dude is too smooth, and he's stylish and stuff like that. Victor has a lot of flaws. Like his low poke game ain't the best. His low poke game ain't the best. His counter hit and reaction could be a little bit better and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, I feel like by now, like Tekken's been out for almost 2 months now. I feel like by now, like everybody should have figured out how to fight against him, or I really am that good.
No, he's good, man. He's good. Victor gives me problems. I will admit. Yeah, my main is Harangue. Harangue's my main.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
You know what? I have to admit now, Harangue's been in the game since Tekken 3. It took me 5 games to finally learn how to fight against this guy. I'm not saying I decisively beat this character whenever I come up against him. But now it doesn't feel like such an embarrassment if I do lose to him, because like, man, all the kicking and the freaking like charge moves and flamingo and all this stuff, and I'm like, sit the fuck down.
He's definitely fighting against him. Now I see it. I fight other harangues. I'm like, yeah, he could be oppressive.
Like,
I get it.
Like
I get
him,
it now.
like him, Eddie, Azucena, they're the most annoying characters. And I want to put Reina up there too, but I finally learned. I finally learned all her tricks now, so I do not have as hard a time fighting Reina as I do Dragunov. Like, why y'all make Dragunov that much better? Like, he did not need to be that good.
He is really good.
And the jury's out on Lee Chaolan. The jury's out on him, because like, I'm like, if I fight one more cheesy ass fucking Lee, I'm gonna delete this game.
Excellent.
He's too oppressive. Like, okay, those kicking characters, they are way too oppressive.
That's why I love them.
I'm done bitching.
Man, I wish I knew what you guys were talking about. The last Tekken
I cast over. Apologies.
The last Tekken I played was Tekken Tag Tournament on PS2. Okay, so
it's time, man. It's time. This is the one. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Great onboarding, arcade quest. Practice mode is phenomenal. Story mode, even if you don't want to do competitive, this is one of the, for anyone new to fighters, they have the best onboarding system, and then the special style. You don't even have to learn all the combos and the complex. They break things down per button. Just
learn some basics, and then go to the training mode and learn how to punish.
Yep, story mode, and you're done. I'm telling you, great and it's beautiful. This is one of the best looking fighting games you've ever seen. UE5 at its fullest. I'm telling you, man, you gotta give it a shot, man.
I do. I also do like the focus on aggression, because like, like if you watch Tekken 7 and Tekken Tag Tournament matches, like it was very turtley, like it was very turtley. Like people were literally just hanging in the background, and that's another thing I like about Victor. Like, you can't hang in the background of me, because I will shoot you
and teleport towards you. Oh
yes,
my God, your man is oppressive. I'm just letting you know, fighting Victor's. Yeah, he gives my Lee Charling nightmares. That's my number 2. But
but that means I'm not doing something wrong. I can't read him or something. I can't read Lee for some reason.
It's just matchups. You know how Tekken is. It's always the matchup. There's always that character that always gives you a little problem.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, like it's good times though. Like I said, I'm enjoying Tekken, and Tekken is the only reason why I've not been playing Monster Hunter so strong lately, because like Tekken, I just really want to invest in Tekken this time. And I mean, I've been playing Tekken Tekken seriously since Tekken 2.
Wow.
Like, like I've owned every home version of Tekken. I retroactively went back at one point and got Tekken 1 for the PlayStation, and I was like, no, I'm not playing this. But yeah, I played every Tekken game, and like, I love the series. It is my series, because I used to be a Street Fighter person, like back. But when they moved from Alpha to 3 and Third Strike and stuff, even though I enjoyed Third Strike, but moving from Alpha, I feel like, is what kind of started putting the nail in the coffin for me. But then when Street Fighter 4 came out, and Street Fighter 4 was on that 2.5D plane, and then like, you could do stuff in Street Fighter 4 that up to that point you could not do in any of the previous games, like jumping behind somebody that's backed into a corner. I was like, oh no, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, I remember those times. I remember.
And Mortal Kombat, I love Mortal Kombat as well, but Mortal Kombat is prone to having bad hair days sometimes.
Yes,
it's really weird. Yeah, it's really weird how Mortal Kombat can be fun until it's not, and I don't understand how that happens.
No, I agree with you. I'm not the fan of the systems itself competitively, but as far as the game playing as a single player for the campaign and the fatalities and the flash, yes, I always pick it up, but I never stay with it long term competitively.
I do like the guest fighter. I do like the guest fighter system, though.
Yes. What do you say, Gar?
I said, which version of Mortal Kombat is not fun? Mortal Kombat on the Switch, as someone who co-hosts a Nintendo podcast and had to talk about it for an episode. And by an episode,
why was that $70 again?
Sucks to be you.
Hey man, look, I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. Okay.
Tegra chip was trying its best. It was doing what it could.
True that.
Hey,
True
man.
that.
Punching above its weight.
Nintendo doesn't realize they're about to have a riot on their hands if they don't hurry up and release the new hardware.
Yeah, about that. By the way, a lot of devs at PAX pretty open about Switch 2 and PS5 Pro. I'm just throwing that out there. No names, but very open
Okay, see now I'm
conversation.
glad I'm glad I kind of missed PAX because I would have been like a sexually frustrated teenager out there like getting all this Nintendo news.
Oh man, I'm just telling you, man. That
Just
Nintendo,
a bunch of teasing.
Exactly.
I don't even know if it was teasing. They just made Pokemon Booth 2.0 over in that corner. This is awful. Anyways,
there were only like 3 places where Pokemon was located there.
Yeah, 3 very large, very open places where Pokemon was.
Just remember, boys and girls, Nintendo will sue.
Yes. Oh yes.
Is that all you've been playing the run?
Yep. Yep.
Well, Pat, we always end with you. What are you playing?
Well, I finished up 2 more games this last week. I powered through Princess Peach Showtime, and I'm glad I'm done with that game, and I don't really want to pick it up again.
Aww.
I mean, it has its moments, and it just just being a collector in that game was just heartbreaking because of its weird checkpoint system that was non-existent to restarting, but only existent if you were to die, which is almost impossible to do in the game. So I finished it, and then the game's like, oh yeah, there's a few more of these things that you can still collect, but you have to do these really hard challenges. It's like, no, I'm done. I'm good
done
now. Yeah, I played it. I beat it. I can say it's not really for me. And if it's for you, you should probably wait for a sale because I don't think it was worth the $60.
I don't know how much of a sale it'll get to being a Nintendo property, but
yeah, $10.
It might hit that $40 bargain, every like once in a blue moon.
Like every Mario day.
Yep.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
My daughter wants to play that game really bad, and I'm just like, first of all, you're 5.
Well, since she's not going to be invested in the whole collecting thing, it might actually be fun for her.
Yeah, I let her play the demo, and she couldn't figure it out. So, that's enough.
Okay.
Enough. So,
well, the other game I beat because of that poll I put on Twitter almost 2 weeks ago. I picked up Coffee Talk and I finished it. And that game is a super chill game. Like I don't know if I could ever point out to any other game in the entire industry and say that game is more chiller than Coffee Talk.
Ooh. I can't believe you like the way Toge comes up around this place every 5 seconds. I can't believe you've never played Coffee Talk.
I don't know. I have this weird affinity when someone else finds something super popular, like Story, back in my EXP cast days, would just keep talking about Coffee Talk, and it's like, okay, I'm kind of sick of Coffee Talk because you keep talking about Coffee Talk. But you know what? I'm gonna eat my words. Coffee Talk is a good game.
Do you have like a favorite character or?
Oh man, there were a lot of fun characters. Of course, I really liked Nala the werewolf. He was really cool, like really chill. Like he had some good advice for some of the other people out there. The story that touched me a lot was Rachel and her dad. No, well, yeah, Rachel and her dad's story did touch me, but also Bailey and Lua's story.
Oh, yep.
Like
I
that
love Bailey
conversation, the conversation they had towards the end after their fight, and he was like kind of telling a story, but it was a story about him, and they're like talking to each other in like the third person view. That like really touched me and like honestly got me a little misty eyed.
Aw.
But
I like well, I forgot his name, but I feel like it's Neil, the alien in the
Yep,
spacesuit. He's
Neil.
my favorite. He's my favorite.
He was definitely comic relief. This is a game that I feel like needs to go into a deep dive, and we already did that once on Boss Rush, but who's to say we can't have another panel, right?
Why not?
Get a whole
Right.
other set of opinions.
I mean, that was like 3 years ago, and none of us were on it. So,
Steph was on it, right?
Oh, was she? Were you?
I can't even remember at this point. I probably should remember, but remember there is a Coffee Talk 2.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Put it up for Boss Rush Book Club option for July. I don't know.
And honestly, if we did that, I might even invite someone from Toge to join us, just because they've been really chill with us. Like Sarah was pretty ecstatic that I finished Coffee Talk, and I don't know why that tweet I put out about it being my game 13 has absolutely blown up. Because it's like, hey, here's everyone else who likes Coffee Talk. It's like, okay, cool. But honestly, like looking at some of those drink titles and what they represented, I would love to see if there's like a Coffee Talk cookbook just to see how they make the drinks, because the game gives you like 3 ingredients, but they obviously don't tell you how it's prepared and stuff like that. I would love to know how to authentically like recreate some of these drinks and actually try them myself.
Yeah, I mentioned that at some point, probably in passing at PAX. I was like, we need to have some sort of recipe book for the Coffee Talk stuff, because I remember when I was sick, my mom made me some sort of like ginger tea recipe, and as soon as I drank it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be something straight out of Coffee Talk, because ginger is a major component in a lot of the drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that ginger was used a lot. I definitely remember that. Way more than like mint was. It was like, what even uses the mint? I didn't get to really use that until I got to the endless coffee challenge to get the 50 correct orders so I can get my 100 or my gamer score of 1,000 points. I played it on Xbox because I had it on Xbox briefly.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, speaking of another Xbox Game Pass title, I am playing a game called Little Gator Game, which is a cozy platformer that has that cozy hike vibe, or short hike. Not cozy hike, short hike. Yeah, that's it. It's kind of got that vibe where all the characters are animals on like an island that's kind of mountainous. But it's more in the vein of like a Legend of Zelda. Your character is a young gator who is hoping that by creating this gigantic game, like open world exploration adventure game, that he can kind of rebond with his sister who just came back from school. And he's kind of wanting to relive his childhood, or he's still a kid, but he kind of wants to like rekindle that bond again because they used to play all the time when they were kids. And she's kind of like, no, I have work to do. And so now he's like, maybe if I show her that I'm having a lot of fun, I can bring her into this. And so it's about him and all these other animals that he runs into on the island that's all kind of participating in this giant LARPing exercise in hopes that he can rekindle the bond with his sister. It's cozy, it's cute. It's got a lot of those Zelda-like features. You can run around with the sword. He can shield surf. He glides. He has a little stamina bar when he climbs mountains. But it's just cute and cozy, and it's kind of like that first like 3D Zelda experience, but you don't have to be like good at the game. You can just kind of go around and smash the little cardboard cutouts that are
Looking at it
skewed
now.
all over.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But what's also cool is there's definitely Easter eggs in the game, little hints in the conversations to other games that might inspire it. Like I did find a post about how heroes always love finding little golden triangles. I'm like, okay, this game has sold me.
It's fair.
Nice.
Nice.
So it's on Game Pass, so there really isn't a reason why you shouldn't check it out if you're just looking for something low key and cozy.
Man, Game Pass, full of gems. I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
Although PlayStation Plus, also I was scrolling through that library yesterday because Brothers is on there for the extra tier or the I don't know whatever the second tier is, and
Extra?
yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's just so many games on this extra tier. Man, I don't know why anybody buys games anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you have Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, why? Unless you're a Nintendo fan.
You got a lot covered.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network. All right, guys, let's we have a lot of listener questions, so we're going to go that way first. We do have a topic, but our time is a little bit limited, so I want to get to these questions first. Remember, you can always submit your question either through the Patreon thread or on our Discord, or you can find the thread on Twitter, or you can always email us the old-fashioned way, podcast.bossrush@gmail.com. You can do that. So our first question comes from our editor-in-chief, David Lasby. He actually wrote 3 questions because he's curious, I guess. His first question is our thoughts on the next-gen Xbox rumors. So, Cog, I think you and I are the biggest Xbox people here. These next-gen rumors, man, just going full force.
Yeah.
On the next gen, it seems like. How you feeling about that?
A lot of talk. You see Phil being extremely vocal about, handhelds in general. Obviously, we've heard about at the business meeting where they talked about the 4 games that was going over to other platforms. At that point, Sarah Bond did make comments about, we're still committed to hardware, because I think that was the concern, right? Is this, them transitioning to multi-plat and, as a Sega kid, going the way of a Sega, right? Getting out of the hardware business and saying, hey, you know what, this is what we're doing. But they're in this unique position where they're still saying, no, we are committed to next generation hardware. We can't wait to show you how great this next thing is. Now, there's been a lot of rumors, some from multiple sources in reference to when the next generation starts for them. Obviously we know the PS5 Pro is coming this year. There's been talk about, well, maybe they pull an Xbox 360 instead of waiting to a 2028. Maybe you launch in 2026. You don't launch alongside PlayStation, and in the realm of the 360 where you launch ahead, right? You have the market to yourself, so to speak. So that's one theory. The other theory definitely seems to be handheld skewed. And as a person who covered the ROG Ally, I thought it was very interesting at one of the events where they revealed it in New York, that not only was the head of AMD there, Microsoft was there, Xbox was there. And I thought it was very strange, and almost I'm taking notes about, having native Game Pass on a handheld, the form factor. And then we have to be honest, you see what the Nintendo Switch is doing. You see that, this is something that they're looking at from getting new players. Not that, the console market is dying or anything like that, but we have to be honest in that piece of the pie seems to be the same. And it looks like these companies, especially Microsoft, wants to go outside of that. So if you want to go outside of that, you have to get people who would normally not buy an Xbox, right? So if it's that at handheld, it's that PC, it seems that they're experimenting with that. Me personally, as a huge fan of handhelds, as a person who takes my ROG Ally everywhere, who loves the idea of being able to take my save data and native Game Pass with me. And then I was surprised to even hear him mention, Corey, like flirting with multiple storefronts on Xbox, like where you would have an Epic Game Store, you would have a Steam. To me, shows that they want to be Game Pass is the driver, and they're willing to put themselves everywhere or let people in if they are willing. So if you look at potentially a dockable device or a second SKU that maybe, because theoretically what they have right now, the Series S theoretically is that. I speak to some people who really are handheld aficionados, and if they wanted to, theoretically, they could make a Series S SKU with their components, and it wouldn't be harder for developers to do. So, all of this is interesting. I do think, if I had to guess, I would say they may start it a little bit earlier, in maybe 2026, 2027. If that's my guess. And the way I look at the way they're positioned is that, for the first, I know it's a lot of doom and gloom in the Xbox community, but the reality is they actually have the games now. Like from last year, 2023, we saw with Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Minecraft. We don't talk about Redfall, but whatever happened with that. And then this year, obviously we see the lineup that they have going. We have a Hellblade 2, you have a Indiana Jones, you have an Avowed, you have Call of Duty entering the service. We know about Fable in the future. We know about Blade. We know about all these games that they have. So could you imagine in 2020, potential 26, 27, where the Elder Scrolls and a Fallout and a new, all these games that could start there and be there for them at launch? Because I think that's the problem with the Series console. It's just been inconsistent. One great year, you don't launch with Halo, or you have nothing really with it at the launch, but then you have this great year with Psychonauts and Halo and Forza. It's just this inconsistency. And we have to, the final thing is, I think they're realizing, and I've said this to Colin, I've said this to a lot of people, is that as much as I love the Xbox brand, we have to admit that Sony and Nintendo, when you think video games to the casual, they are synonymous with that.
Yeah.
Right. So they have to either pivot, put their things otherwhere, or also maybe separate themselves and have the market to themselves. So I think that's where I'm at with it. It's an interesting time. We're in a unique space, because I've never really seen this, where a company says, hey, we're thinking about being everywhere, but at the same time making hardware in addition to that.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day with someone, where the multiple storefronts thing came up, and I was like, man, I wonder, and this is like a very pie in the sky kind of, like, I just threw this out there. I don't really think it's going to happen, but like, what if Xbox just creates a piece of hardware that's basically a set-top PC that has like this really customized version of Windows 12 that would integrate with the Xbox ecosystem, and you could either boot it into an Xbox mode or boot it into, if you want to play your Steam games, you boot it into some other version of Windows, and it basically boots big picture mode in it or whatever. And like, oh, well, their second SKU is this handheld, so my libraries can come with me, whether it's the Xbox library, or maybe that's what the ROG Ally purpose serves, right? Where like, oh, well, you just update the operating system or whatever the ROG Ally 2 looks like. Might have like a dedicated Xbox something on it, right? Like that was kind of where I was thinking, like, if Xbox truly wants to be everywhere, I think what people are getting stuck on is like, Xbox is no longer just a box, right? And it's also very hard to separate the two when box is in the name of the product, right? But like Xbox wants to be everywhere, and to truly be everywhere, if you want to be on an app on a TV or your phone, or an Xbox or a PC or whatever, you have to separate yourself from the box entirely. And I think, like, yes, they still want to be in the living room, but to do that, do they just make a set-top box PC similar to the Steam box, right? Like,
oh god, the Zune is coming back. The Zune is coming back.
Yes.
Hey man, I still have my Halo 3 Zune, okay?
I remember working at GameStop back when that came out, and we had to like push, because it was almost like a GameStop exclusive.
Yeah, we had to push that, but in all honesty, I thought it was cool as shit.
The device was cool.
Look, the Halo 3 one was cool, and then the Gears 2 one came out. I'm like, I got to trade my Halo 3 one in for this Gears one.
Bro, I wrote it all the way. Zune HD, remember that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You're the reason. You're the reason why gaming is the way it is, Corey.
I know. I'm the problem. But
I was with you there, man.
Man. I would be really excited if Xbox did do a handheld, though, because like, obviously you see the Steam Deck, and we already hit on the Nintendo Switch, and like, I think what Sony and Microsoft both are looking at now is like, how do we get our existing libraries on a device that people can take with them? And like, the backbone was obviously a half step. xCloud is, it is what it is. The portal is what it is, right? Like I know some people love it, some people don't. And that's just a way to get portability is what people want now, it seems. Mm-hmm. And so, reaching that audience that Nintendo has very clearly successfully found.
Oh yeah.
Listen, if Xbox comes out with a portable, I will be so excited because then I'll have my Switch, my Steam Deck, my Portal. I have the analog pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh,
all I need is Xbox. I would just love it.
There we go. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Good point. And I think to your point, Corey, that what Phil said specifically is what you mentioned, which is he looks at the ROG Ally and the Lenovo device. His main issue is like, how can I make this Xbox enough?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing is, as much as I love the ROG Ally, I'm a tech, but most casuals don't want to boot up into a Windows desktop.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to see a cursor. They don't want it. They want to see the actual hypervisor, the UI that an Xbox has, as if it mimics that home console experience. And those are the things he's hitting. And he's a little too verbal for me and very specific for me to think that this is not happening. I've never seen someone so expressive about this. And his lifestyle kind of mimics mine, which is like we're always traveling, we're always on the go. I remember when the the up screen came up with Series S, he was one of the first to have that. When the ROG Ally came out, he was one of the first to have it. And yeah, it definitely caters to that demographic that might not ever buy an Xbox console, but you give them something portable, right? With potentially that's native, with a potential to stream as optional. Maybe you have something, or a PC guy who's like, you know what, at this price point, and I can play Steam on it, or I can play Epic Game Store on it, and you're a more power user, you want to put other apps and other things on the back end. I could see some dual functionality there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
As an early adopter of the ROG Ally, like I am intrigued by the fact of the possibility of a portable Xbox device. But in all seriousness, and trust me, I completely understand like people who have a problem with the Windows ecosystem on a handheld and whatnot, which is why I think Uncle Phil is sitting back doing the sit back and wait and see approach, stuff like that. We've got all these devices out now, like we've got the ROG Ally, we got the Legion Go, we got the MSI Claw, which MSI anyway. like nice try MSI. I mean, you do all right. You do all right with motherboards. I'll say that. But yeah, we've got these we've got these out there and everything. But in all honesty, I do like the versatility of the fact that my ROG Ally is a Windows device also, because like I have all the ecosystems on there. I have Game Pass on there. I have Steam on there. I have GOG on there. I have Epic EGS on there. I've got all this stuff on there because like all your games until we get into a world where all your games are on one platform. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I also loved. I did go back and look. I love the fact that like people are loading Steam OS onto the ROG Ally. I like that, but at the same time, I was like that limits me because I run RTSS and all this stuff. So I'm bottom level enthusiast So I know the tricks and get games performed a certain way, but I will keep my eye on this because especially an Xbox handheld, if the Xbox handheld can do something that the ROG Ally or the Legion Go can't do for me, or the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a contender. The only problem with Steam Deck is like the whole Steam Deck verified stuff. That's my only hang up about the Steam Deck, because I was about to plunge on that OLED.
Same.
Yeah. But I'll keep my eye out on it because these are interesting times to live in. Sony's talking about getting back in the race now. Well, the rumor is Sony's talking about getting back in the race now. I'm like, yeah, Sony, bring it on. Give me another PlayStation device that I can jailbreak. Come on.
Man, yeah, that's why I haven't jumped in on the ROG Allies, because I'm not a nerd like you, LeRon. I can't do the PC thing. I'm trying, and then the Steam Deck, I'm like,
okay.
That's super cool.
We should have a separate show. We should have a separate show, just talking about that, because in all honesty, like I boot up my ROG Ally. It basically does. I play most of my stuff in Steam Big Picture mode because I just tell Steam that this is that this is a non-Steam game that I want added into the library, and usually that's all good. But But when I first got the ROG Ally and like a month into the ROG Ally, I picked up this launcher called Play Night, and Play Night basically gives you that console experience, and it integrates all your stuff. So whether you have emulators, whether you have like Game Pass, Steam, all those libraries and stuff like that. Once you have it all like sorted out and everything, it will launch the independent launchers for you. So like if you're playing a game that's EGS, it will launch EGS for you and run that game, and you won't even notice it's happening because it's all in the background. So like the game will just load up like you just ran through a UI, like say on the Switch, for example, like you just ran through your Switch library, picked the game, picked Fire Emblem, and said go. And even though Fire Emblem is part of it, I'm just talking a whole bunch of nonsense because I'm trying to make it all make sense. Even though Fire Emblem is part of like this ecosystem, like it will launch that launcher even though you never started it. If it's on the background, the game just starts right up.
Nice.
Emulators, same thing. I have so much emulated stuff on my ROG Ally. It's sickening.
Great device, man.
It's sickening, and the fact that I can jump from Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes on the GameCube to freaking Infamous 2 on PS3 on my ROG Ally, and not have to like switch back and forth between a whole bunch like load this emulator, side load this library, do all this. If it's on your SSD or your micro SD, it'll start up.
Good to go.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like I love portable gaming. So it's funny that it's wild that I don't have that many portable devices. Like I usually find one or two that to stick with. So for example, I have my Switch. I still have I jailbroke my 3DS XL. A while back. Once the 3DS kind of went out of style, I jailbroke that.
It's offline now, Switch. So you can do whatever you want now.
Yeah, I'm gonna jailbreak this Switch sooner or later. My PSPs were jailbroken. My PS Vita was jailbroken. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Oh, man.
It's fun. I love it. I love the ROG Ally, and I can't wait to. If Xbox is really gonna put their money where their mouth is at, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, I can't wait. Lasby has 2 other questions. Sorry, Lasby, we're skipping them because we got other questions. We love you, but we answered your main one. So,
Halo can't be saved as a series, and
Halo
couch co-op
in a good spot.
That's niche.
Halo's in a good spot right now, I hear.
Halo season 2 is good though.
Yeah,
look, man. Halo 3, that was peak. Okay,
so I said season 2. I was talking about the TV show.
He's talking about the TV show, which I heard is good though. I heard is good right now. Halo Infinite is actually in a good place right now. I have to concur with Corey. It is. I've been playing a little bit, but everything I hear and for all of my hardcore, they're like, no, it's really the good place from the multiplayer standpoint right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's listening to this podcast right now. Like LeRon is a nut.
they say that every week, LeRon. So. Tiger Jesus 64 writes in. He says, "What Destiny character would make a great Tekken fighter?"
Ooh,
you asked the one Tekken question that I am not qualified to answer. Hey, good night, everybody. We're signing off now.
Just Google search Destiny characters, LeRon, and just pick the one that looks the coolest. You'll be fine.
I guess I might go with a.
I gotta look at what they do though. Like,
what you going with? Because you don't play Tekken. So you're in a weird spot because you play Destiny, but you don't really play Tekken. Yeah, no. LeRon plays Tekken. He don't play Destiny. So this is funny.
It shows like how they move and how they fight. Like, is there a showcase for that?
Like judging by like the kind of like the attitude of Tekken and like kind of how that kind of falls in the kind of serious tone, other than because like Mortal Kombat is just like over the top ridiculous. So
yes.
But you look at Tekken and it's kind of like, this takes itself a little bit more seriously, I feel like, in the grand scheme of things. I think Saladin would be cool. I think Shaxx would be way too aggressive, to be honest. I don't know. I've never seen Zavala do anything, so I don't think it would be him. I love Zavala, but come on. He hid in a bubble in Vanilla D2, and look, man, I love Zavala so much, but like he doesn't fight, man. He just tells you what to do, and yells at space
valid.
rhinos and stuff. So
valid. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a Korra Kate or something.
Yeah,
I agree.
Korra would be
Somebody that's in the action, right? That's the first, right?
Yeah.
So
Korra would be cool.
probably a Korra. I would probably roll with her.
Yeah. Saint 14 would be cool too. But I just like
Saint would be fun.
I just like Saint a lot. So.
Yeah, let's go with Saint. I like that. I like that. Headbutt. You know he got the headbutt already.
Yeah. Yep.
You know? Yeah. Let's go with Saint. Charging the front line, very battle, intense. I would say Saint's a good one.
Yeah. Great Fox writes in. He says, "What do you think will happen with Destiny after the final shape, and what will happen to Bungie?" Oh boy, that second part is we're gonna need another 90 minutes to
I'll give you the short version.
Man.
I think here's my thing. After watching the showcase today, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, Corey. So first thing that really made me smile was to see Luke Smith. And this is the surveyor of the Destiny universe, so to speak. He's the Kevin Feige now, right? So to hear him say after final shape, we have more planned. The story will continue, right? That gives me hope that they already have kind of like their roadmap as to what to do. Now, the question is going to be what will happen to Bungie, because we do know the reality, right? They missed their targets internally. What was it 45% after Lightfall hit, which was really a disaster. And we do know, according to the deal that they have with PlayStation, that if they continue to not make their targets, their board can be taken over. And if their board is taken over, then they theoretically are no longer Bungie anymore. They are solely controlled. And, I think for the hardcore, not any slander against PlayStation or anything like that, I just that, people love Bungie and people love their distinct personality that makes them who they are. When they broke free from Activision, we saw the turmoil there with Forsaken. They were like, hey, we are proud of what we did. So no one, I think, wants to see the essence of Bungie go away. So I think, it's going to be, look, this is an uphill road. We know what the user count was, but I will give them this. The streams leading up into where we are now, it was almost like a dead body that's showing signs of life. And we're like, okay, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. So I don't want to get too crazy because I am biased and I am a Destiny fan, but I have to be realistic. Will it hit those pre-orders? Will it hit the targets to get the casuals back? If I go by today, I'm seeing logins and I'm seeing engagement I haven't seen in a long time. So it seems the base is like, yes, Bungie, you're doing everything we've always wanted. Let's go. But the key for them, final shape, it has to be Witch Queen, Taken King level, the narrative, classic Bungie narrative, almost like those Halo days. That's what Witch Queen, I feel, was like peak for them. Yeah. If they can get back to that, we know they delayed this expansion because they said it was good, but it wasn't great. So it seems that they're going for great. And for the signs that we see, to the answer to the final part of the question, what will happen, I think after the final shape, I think what we're seeing right now, they're flirting with the power fantasy. They're giving us all these abilities, basically theoretically breaking the game in terms of build crafting and letting you mix and match things that just seem impossible. So I think the final shape is almost, prophetic as far as what it could be. Let us have full customization and combine all these classes, so to speak. So we'll see. I'm pulling for them, but I got to be realistic. We're still a long way away. We're getting signs of life. The patient is breathing, but let's see if he can survive.
Yeah, I watching that today, I haven't seen excitement around this, like you said, the Witch Queen. Like when the Witch Queen was popping off, right? Like everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this was the Taken King moment that it needed." Like Forsaken was great, right? But like the Witch Queen was the moment, right? Where you're like, Destiny is back full force, all And then when Lightfall came out, it just felt like it felt dead in the water, Like, and I was like I finished the campaign, I was like. And I was trying to like stay spoiler free. I was trying to stay offline. I'm like, man, I wonder what the internet thinks about this. Cause I did not, I was like, I don't know about this.
It's kind of spooky.
Yeah. And then the next day I'm in our Tower Casuals Discord. I'm seeing our entire Discord just like freaking out that this campaign was bad. And like, what is going on? I'm like, oh, good. It's not just me.
And just so, you, brother.
Yeah. And then like now we're in this long, obviously the season of the Wish has been super long, and Into the Light, we didn't really know what it was until, couple weeks ago, right? And like now they're bringing back all these old weapons and stuff, and it's like we've been talking like, is the final shape? We're gonna see it through because I've been investing since 2013, right? The alpha,
Preach.
and obviously 2 Destiny podcasts out of it, and it's like I gotta see it through. I gotta see it through. But is the final shape like the send off for us OG Guardians, right? And it's like today, like you said, seeing Luke Smith brought a lot of for some reason it just brought a lot of
feels,
but also like a calmness and a confidence that I haven't seen in Bungie since the Witch Queen, really. And then you start seeing like obviously the music and the mixing of the abilities and seeing weapons and all these things and like, man, when that trailer hit after the showcase today, and it's the make your own fate build up with the music and like the drum hits and like just the words popping on the screen. It was like, oh my gosh, this is the most excited I've been for Destiny in a very, very, very long time. And I'm like, man, I'm back. I'm back in for now. Now
for this month we there.
Yeah, now obviously we know
the whole return the Monster Hunter World like movement.
Yeah,
This is
yes.
I like hearing this, like hearing stuff like that for gaming communities. Like it actually gives me energy. I like that.
And
I'm the same way. Even if I'm the same way you, LeRon. Even if it's a game I don't play, when you see the purist, the hardcore of that community happy that their games is listening and getting the things they want, even if it's something I don't play, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen after the final shape? Obviously, we know the episodes are coming, but we don't really know what those are yet. And Luke said that they're going to explain everything after the final shape is out, and like obviously the raid and raid is
there is a new rumor. I don't know if we want to break this right now.
Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, just send it to y'all right now. There's a rumor. I don't know how much truth there is. Codename Payback out here.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that earlier today. Yeah.
I don't know how much truth it is to it, but apparently maybe D3. I don't know.
I think
we'll see.
Yeah, this rumor obviously. So for those who don't know, Destiny 3 has been like a hotly contested thing in the Destiny community. Should it happen? Should it not happen? My opinion is after the final shape and whatever these episodes are, Destiny 3 to bring in new players and start this new whatever it's happening fresh should probably be a Destiny 3, or at least if there's one more expansion in Destiny 2, that should be the prologue to whatever Destiny 3 is, right? And so I think Destiny 3 needs to happen just from a player sustainability standpoint and bringing new players in, because the story is ending. Like this current story is ending, and I love Destiny. I want it to succeed as long as possible, even if I'm not playing as much as I used to or as much as I want to. It's an important franchise. I started writing this article today about I've been playing Destiny longer than I've known my wife, right? And we've been together 10 years, right? And
damn.
And like my first podcast was a Destiny podcast. My first piece of content was Destiny stuff related, right?
We share a lot of similarities.
Yeah, you're called the Iron Lords, for God's sake. Like,
right around Rise of Iron. That's where we started. Yep.
Yeah,
right
there. My first podcast started around House of Wolves when Moments of Triumph started around House of Wolves, and we were grinding that Skolas was the last bit everybody needed, and man, we were all I think level 36, and we had like a level 35 with us, and they were just getting smoked because they didn't have the Crota boots, which is what you needed because it was the old light leveling system.
Yes.
And like they were getting smoked, and we just ran around in circles for like 3 hours trying to beat. It was a interesting couple days. But yeah, and like obviously, Tower Casuals has been going on since season of the I guess right before Beyond Light came out. So
gotcha.
So Arrivals, and so it's an important franchise to a lot of people. I've made a lot of friends that we wouldn't be sitting here without Destiny, to be honest with you, right? So I wouldn't be friends with
who I am.
without Destiny, I wouldn't be friends with any of them with, and even though they don't play, like I want it to succeed. I want to know what's going to happen with it. I want to know what's going to happen with it in terms of what Marathon's going to be. Like, are they going to shift to make Marathon the priority? And like you said, is Bungie going to be Bungie after this? Right. So
good point. Yep, pretty much agree. We'll see what happens. And just to add on, final, I just think that I would love for them to make a Destiny 3 if possible. Obviously, we know Marathon is on the docket, but I do think that new engine, dedicated servers, all the things that we hear that Marathon is getting, and just in terms of taking that graphical fidelity to the next level. This is an old engine now. They've been using it a long time, and they've pushed it as far as they can go. So I would love to see the new technology and see what would happen with a D3. And even if they sunset weapons again, look, I'll deal with it with a new engine and this new form of build crafting if that's the new direction moving forward.
If you're leaving the Soul system too, like you're gonna have new weapons. Like take us to Reese, give us some Fallen or Elix new weapons and tech. Absolutely. And that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, we still got the 9 to talk about. We got stories. We got things to do.
Yeah. So the Vex, like there's still that.
Absolutely.
So all right, a couple more questions here. Noro writes in and says, "I'm a Destiny 2 diehard and a current Xbox user. What other games should I be playing?"
It's funny.
I mean,
I think he just named everything.
Monster Hunter's there, I guess.
Hey, you know what? I don't know. When there was a content drop for Destiny, all y'all suckers came over to Monster Hunter World for like a hot minute, and we actually had experienced people that knew how to play that style of game joining the Monster Hunter community. And then as soon as I don't know what that content drop was, like y'all motherfuckers ghosted and left us with those terrible ass fucking casuals and stuff like that. And I was and I'm just gonna say this. Like I was a person that I'd been playing. I was so used to playing solo Monster Hunter that when an influx of actual good people who knew how to play that style of game showed up, I was like, you know what? I don't mind playing multiplayer now. Y'all bastards left, and it was back to those randos, and I was like, I'm going back to solo. I can't do it. I piss all my friends off. Because they're like, yeah. Well, first of all, I piss my friends off because like they all want to play on console and I'm playing on PC. So I was like, that's not going to work because I'm not buying the console version, and then buying a $140 subscription to PlayStation Plus to play with y'all just for one game. No thanks.
I respect it.
Technically, Destiny is free to play, so you don't need PlayStation Plus to play it online.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good to know.
Also,
that's good to know. But I have Destiny on PC that I just never installed on my computer.
Nerd.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just got a little irked just now when you said there's Monster Hunter for Destiny people to play, and I'm just like, oh, I'm having flashbacks to where life was good in Monster Hunter, and then.
LeRon's like, don't bring that Destiny
y'all
over here.
Y'all stay y'all's asses over there in Destiny. Y'all fickle motherfuckers.
We fickle.
Oh man,
we just needed a home for a little bit. That was all. We just looking for a little refuge during a tough time.
And we welcomed y'all. We welcomed y'all up in here. Y'all ate our food. Y'all slept on our couch.
Yes. Yep. Thank you for your services. I think our situation is better now. See you later.
You became best friends of our dogs, and then when y'all walked away, our dogs was always looking out the window like, "Where'd he go? Where'd he go?"
Don't call you back no more. Oh yeah. We're definitely a fickle group.
The dog's looking at me like, "Hey, did he die? Like, what happened?"
Whatever happened to that kid that used to come up all the time? Yeah, that was us. That and Diablo. We did that to Diablo big time as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we man. We befriended that community quick.
Y'all
as soon as that launch. Yep, beat the story. Next season came out. Destiny got good with Season of the Witch. All right. Thank you for the great hospitality. Season of the Witch is good, so we're going to be over here now. Thank you so much for your time.
I wonder if Final Fantasy 14 is experiencing that right now.
Yeah,
And then as soon as Lightfall came out, y'all was like, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
What's going to happen?
Had to find a new game. That's what we do.
Good thing Zelda came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, good times.
Mm.
Good times. What was
Y'all
it?
ran
Oh,
the
it's the
Starfield.
question. Right.
Real fast, and didn't appreciate that one either. Well,
Yep,
Starfield is hard to appreciate. I'll just put it that way.
Oh man, what a divisive game Starfield was.
Very divisive.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our let's see. Just Thomas writes in. We'll hurry through these last couple. First time writing in, but I love the Iron Lord, so I had to pop in. How do you feel about the expansion of Xbox and onto other platforms? And do you think others will follow suit? Thanks, guys.
Salute, Just Thomas. Thanks, man. How do I feel about the expansion of Xbox on other platforms? Me personally, I mean, as a person who played these games already, the Sea of Thieves, the Pentiments, the Groundeds, and stuff like that, I personally don't have a problem because it doesn't affect me. I played these games, right? But I understand the old console mindset for certain individuals. It's an emotional thing for some people. And I get it. But the reality is, it's like if you played these games and you had your enjoyment already, what's the problem? Now, in fairness to that group, they're like, well, okay, well, it may devalue the brand, and they're concerned about Xbox, not making consoles anymore. I think it's an experiment. I think it's something they're going to look at and extrapolate the data and see, hey, one thing that did surprise me, I have to admit, Sea of Thieves being the number one pre-order on PlayStation 5 Premium Edition and Standard Edition number 5, like that shocked me. So it goes to show you that, again, when I talked about brand recognition, there's just Xbox sadly lost the generation they weren't supposed to lose, which was they couldn't afford to lose, which was the Xbox One generation. At that point, people established their digital libraries. They want to stay where they want. Some people prefer to stay in the PlayStation, and Nintendo ecosystems. So now, if you bring the games over there, maybe the live service, maybe the strategy is the live service, like the Sea of Thieves, the multiplayer and co-op, things of that nature, the Grounded, things of that nature. And if it does well, maybe that is the experiment to get those over on other platforms. So I don't have a feel way about it as long as it's, as long as it keeps my preferred platform. I'm about sustainability. It keeps them going. I'm a Sega kid. I'm used to things going away. I'm used to things not existing and dying. So exactly.
I'm gonna say what I always say. Like gamers win when there's more ways to play games. So whenever these exclusives, and I don't think absolutely every exclusive that every PlayStation exclusive is not going to find its way to Xbox and Nintendo. Every Xbox exclusive is not going to find its way to PlayStation and Nintendo. Every Nintendo exclusive is never going to find its way to Xbox and PlayStation. There's never going to be 100% fluidity with all these consoles and all these ecosystems. The best fluidity you're going to get is console to PC and vice versa, PC to console. But you got to know, like, there's a bit of gatekeeping because like some of these PC games need way too many resources that these consoles will never be able to keep up with and stuff like that.
Good point.
That being said, I'm waiting for Ghost of Tsushima to hit PC too. But that being said, the more players that can play the games that you love is incentive enough for more sequels to those games you love to come out. First of all, it also opens up the playing field for more developers to actually develop outside of their set dev kit and stuff like that, because that's what we want, because then we don't want to have to worry about, well, why is the Xbox version better than the PlayStation version? Why is the PlayStation version better than the Xbox version? Why is the PC version shittier than all the console versions? I don't think I understand, like it does feel like doom and gloom when like the brand loses its branding.
Right.
I understand that, but at the same time, like it is a win when gamers can play wherever they want to play. It is a win when developers can develop across all the platforms and know all the ins and outs of it. This is why some of these Nintendo games on the Switch in the last 2 years have been shitty, because they're playing around with dev kits. They're either way too old and they are trying to adapt. Well, they're actually trying to step back because they're developing on newer dev kits and stuff like that. There's there's a whole bunch of variables for why it is the way it is and stuff like that. And I'm not here to like stomp on anybody's hopes and dreams and stuff like that. Like I like the fact that there's an Xbox, there's a PlayStation, there's a Nintendo. I miss the fact that there's no Sega. I miss that, but
although
that being
the franchise that Sega has now, though, they could totally just have their own first party lineup, right? I mean, if they decide to get back
that
in.
is true.
But
that
I
is true. But I think Sega likes making money.
Yeah, no, I know.
I think Sega likes making money because they know they put anything Jet Set Radio, Skies of Arcadia, or Golden Axe, or what's that other damn franchise? They put any of those out there. Streets of Rage, thank you. Like I'm gonna buy it. I bought Streets of Rage on Switch and on PC. That just lets you know. I bought every rehash and remake of Jet Set Radio because they still want to keep Jet Set Radio Future locked in one place. Like Sega, y'all better come correct when y'all relaunch y'all shit. If I don't see Jet Set Radio Future, I'm gonna riot.
I remember how messed up it was when I saw Sonic Adventure 2 and Phantasy Star hit GameCube, and then I saw Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio on Xbox. I'm like, what is happening?
Like, what's happening?
And then I saw NBA 2K hit GameCube. I'm like, what
is this bizarro world we're living in?
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going back to Kingdom Hearts and shutting up.
Man,
Stephanie Pat,
you know what though? Oh, this is my last thing, and Stephanie Pat, you guys can go. This is a strange time we live in with gaming, but it's still super fun though. It's still super fun.
Oh, of course. Mm-hmm.
Gaming's never been better, in my opinion.
So. All right, Pat, Stephanie, I yield the floor now.
I'm not sure if there's much I can really add that hasn't been said, and I mean it. And I don't want to sound like I'm trying to come out with a cop-out response, but I don't know. I feel like I just be repeating everything.
Mm-hmm. No,
Pat, save me.
Honestly, from a business standpoint, yeah, it makes sense for Xbox to branch out. Like we're even seeing hits from like Sony exclusive games like Final Fantasy 16. Could have done a whole lot better if it was allowed on multiple consoles. And even though Square considers it a success, they still feel like it could have been better. But I understand, unfortunately, in our market, that it's not good for everything to be on one platform because then, unfortunately, that one platform has monopoly, can start setting prices to however it wants to. So we do want to keep the multiple platform ecosystem going on. Yes, LeRon?
I'm glad you mentioned that because like look at the success Helldivers is having.
Right.
Look at the success. Like it's to the point where Sony's like, maybe we shouldn't stagger our releases now. Maybe we should give like a really small window of exclusivity and then put this shit out on the competitors, even though PC is not competing with anybody.
Yeah.
PC's not competing with anybody. But the fact that like Nintendo, I'm sorry, PlayStation, during the whole like argument about like can Microsoft acquire like Activision Blizzard and stuff like that, like I think they learned a few things after the fact, because Helldivers is going to be like the number one example for what they do going forward.
Right.
Well, the nice thing about Helldivers is that they still are like constantly pumping out content. Like they got this whole story thing going on that's keeping their live service title interesting.
Yeah, they're doing a great
that's
job.
the problem that people think you can just launch a Fortnite and be done with it. No, you still have to keep pumping content continuously, not just once every quarter or once every like year.
Yep.
It needs to be weekly, monthly. You need to keep your people engaged.
Preach.
Consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. Helldivers is doing a great job at that.
They're doing a phenomenal job. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it there. I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody's questions, but time, everybody. So Cog, I appreciate you joining us tonight. This was awesome. This was a real pleasure, real treat. Where can people find you and your stuff?
First of all, thanks for having me in the realm of the Boss Rush podcast. A lot of fun. Love the distinct personalities and the energy. Really appreciated my time here. On Twitter, you can find me at Lord Cognito. I'm on Iron Lord's podcast every Sunday is the Lord's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern. Go check us out. They're on YouTube. You can catch us there. If you trying to catch out some independent media and as far as developer interviews, as far as conventions, news reviews, articles, opinion pieces, you catch us on lordsofgaming.net. If you want an Xbox centric podcast, go find us on Last Stand Media. Find me on Last Stand Media, Mr. Matty Plays and Defining Duke, and then also the Destiny Hardcore. You guys, the ones who were excited this week, you can find me on the Last Word podcast. That's on Ebontis' channel, and that's with me, myself, and Ty Guy Travis. And Corey, appreciate the invite. LeRon, Steph, Patrick. Thank y'all for suffering through all that. All that Destiny and Tekken talk. Poor souls. I felt the pain. I was like, man, they going through it right now, but they're good souls.
Hold on.
I feel bad that I don't have much to offer for Destiny, but I do love me my Tekken 8. I just didn't want to get in on the conversation.
Who's your main?
You just don't.
I gotta know before I go. Who's your favorite character so far?
My main is Victor, and my second is Lee.
Ooh,
so
okay,
yeah. That's why Stephanie didn't chime in when I was talking shit about Lee.
Got you.
She didn't want me to start cussing at her.
No. Like at first, I really kind of didn't like how he was introduced in this game because I think was it Tekken 2 or Tekken 4?
He was Tekken.
He was the smooth. He was the. Yeah, I know what you. Go ahead. I'll let you talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
2 or 4, LeRon. But was he 2 or 4 when he?
2 is when he was introduced, and then he disappeared for 3, and he came back in 4 as Violet. And sometimes when I'm really pissy about him, I'll call him Violet instead of Lee. Sometimes when I'm really pissy about it.
Wow.
Well, I think I liked him when I picked up Tekken because my first Tekken game was Tekken 4, and it's because that kick takedown move that you could cheese so badly.
That hook kick? Oh my god! Yeah,
I was in love with that. So when he came back again, at first I wasn't the biggest on his design. Not that fighting games are meant to, choose your characters just by design. But Victor being a new character, I was more curious to learn his moveset and the fact that he has this great variety of, the gun and the sword and just he just captured my heart. He's my favorite. But once I have more time, I'd like to kind of pick Lee back up and relearn his moveset.
Actually, I think the best way for me to stop bitching about Lee is to start playing with Lee. I think that's what I got to do, and see it. And once I see all the cheese in effect, then I'll know how to fight it.
You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank y'all, man. I really had a good time. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah, you're always welcome here. I know you're a busy guy, so I appreciate you taking the time. Also, we didn't get into the health is wealth thing, but last year I really took a lot of that stuff seriously, and I mean a lot of it was these guys and me wanting to be around for my kids, but also when you and Maddie were talking about it on Duke, and when everything was like kind of happening and like. Really took it seriously, and so appreciate that as well.
Yeah, anytime. I'm always going to promote that. As gamers, let's be honest. We're sitting in front of that TV, for a lot of hours and stuff like that, and it's very easy to get really stagnant. So I just try to always remind people, hey, earn the right to game. Sometimes, even if it's just walking, just doing little things to keep yourself active and stuff like that. Because sadly, I've lost a lot of people, and games has always been my escape. I'm a kid from the South Bronx. Everybody used to come over, at my house and play games. And that used to be the little battle I had with my mom. So like, hey, but you know what I'm doing? And then the second portion of it with outside of video games was always, hey, let's go do something. Let's go out. Let's be active for a bit. And I always try to promote that. So health is wealth. And Corey, I appreciate that, man. Really, really meant a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's it. You can follow us at Boss Rush Network on social media. You can check out bossrush.net for all of our content. Check out the Major Nelson interview that you guys did, Cog. That was awesome. Definitely check that out. Boss Rush Podcast every Monday. Get it 1 week early on Patreon for just $1. want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.